into the path of James. James knew that he always had him on the left-hand side, and he can do it right or left foot. Doesn't matter at all to James, and he just laid that across nicely.
A perfect start to the second term for the Doggies. As expected, they've hit back. Sutherland sits it down for his rover. Well done by Boyd. In down to half forward, into the path of O'Sullivan. Bounced up nicely for him. Then inside 50 long with the kick. He looks for Havelberg. The punch comes from Grieger nicely, and Tiller roved it pretty well for a big guy. Off to a big guy and Parry. And then Parry sends it loosely, you'd say, through the middle. Two grabs by Staple. Thought he was in the back of his opponent. The umpire called play on Sikalella through half forward. Great kick, Brokey. So here's another one, another tester. Do you go for goal 50 metres out, having to kick the ball every bit of 55 or not?
He looks very much like it to me that he's going to have a shot. Now, there's going to be some players that will lead at him, but I suspect he will have a shot here. This is a pretty important kick. He's got wind at his back, so he'll need to travel the distance here.
Adam Grant already got one to his name, and he's such an important cop for the Eagles. In the end, it's virtually two steps, and he kicks long, and he's got the accuracy. Oh, wow, did anybody doubt him?
Not up here. Yeah, fantastic, isn't it? He was very confident from the start. You just knew he wanted to have a shot on goals. He was confident from the outset. It's a good catch by Lee Staples here. And just the overlap from Sikalella. Sikalella's actually hit some balls inside forward 50 that's resulted in marks inside forward 50. As you called it, a couple of stuttering steps and just launched into it. Never really looked like missing once it hit the foot.
Worth noting in the curtain raisers, boys, that the scoring end was by far the northern end to left of screen too.
Yeah, that breeze is definitely favouring there, but I noticed that the other teams didn't have too much trouble scoring at the other end as well. So the umpire's going to call that one back, or was there a free kick in the ruck going to Parry for a bit of holding on?
Eagles.
Yes, off the ball. A bit of holding on to Ullman on the arm. So he gets a bit of a full burst here, and then the kick is touched off the boot. No mark to Staple. Feeds it nicely to Day. Now Day's got a good boot on him, and he kicks it out wide. Brilliant kick to Grokey. Oh, thought he got a push in the back. Templeton was right there with him, and I think the Eagles are going to tidy up on this bloke in James Boyd. He just ducks away. He's had a few possessions in this term. His kick just fades away. Raymond couldn't take it, but oh, he just kept on following the footy. Well done by Raymond. Thompson at the back, but Hayes at the front. Did very well, and then fed it away to Dunn, who'll want his left boot, and he's got a man in space, and he misses him with the kick, and Goldsworthy takes the mark. Dunn wanted his left and couldn't get around enough. The kick died, and Matthew Goldsworthy from the paint of 50, and Sikalella is running around saying, I think I'll go off for a spell.
Just needed to hit Dunn coming out, didn't he?
He did. The kick just died on him. Here's another opportunity for the Eagles to re-establish an 18-point lead. He's given it everything. He's only got little legs, Goldsworthy, and it is a behind.
They put enough pressure on. They put enough pressure on the Dunn kick, the Dunn exit kick. They put enough pressure on that for him to turn it over, as we saw Justin Sikalella with the ice pack around his neck trying to get the oxygen into the lungs.
So here's what the Doggies have been able to do fairly successfully. Get that first position out of defensive 50. Hayes ran himself into a bit of trouble. Support from O'Hara. Then down he goes long, looking for O'Sullivan, and the ball comprehensively knocked over the line. And Chad O'Sullivan, who played in that 06 grand final, won the 08 best and fairest, and of course, after 4 operations, returned from a broken leg suffered in the 09 grand final. So the ball down to the front. Again, the clearance. King comes away. Powell down to half forward. Ball bounces up. Hayes tried to take it off his own man. As a result, the Eagles get another opportunity. And the umpire will come in. Just near the 50, will get a ball up. Craig Parry, just with the towel around the neck, taking a break. Redden, the man who's come on. And then Remington had his ball smothered, and then it came back. Tiller's a huge kick from 60. He lines up. Oh, wasn't that great to watch?
That was fantastic. Tiller just lurked off the back of the contest. They didn't have someone to go with him. Roy Laird would be nasty with that. Tiller just lurked off the back of the contest, and once he got it on the edge of the paint there of the 50-metre square, just launched it. And that went 3 rows back into the crowd, so he can give a ball a roost. One of the interesting ones I've seen is Eddie Sansbury's gone to full forward. He hasn't had much impact on the game, so they pushed him to full forward. Interesting to see if they'll get any reward from that.
Havelberg's taken a spell on the bench under a cloud during the week, well, the last couple of weeks with a hamstring injury. Daniel Havelberg saw him fly for a mark just a little earlier too, but all seemed to be okay with that hammy. So just a restructure by Roy Laird.
Michael, last game for Daniel Havelberg as well. He's going to head to Western Australia for work after today.
Thanks, Mark, and he'd be hoping to be able to see it off with a premiership. Another one, Raymond. That's a brilliant kick to find Allman. The nippy little left footer goes forward, but he goes out very, very wide, and Hall, well, tried to keep it in. Spur was there, and the ball trickles out of play. But another opportunity for the Eagles. There's Havelberg.
Isn't it amazing when you've got the ball, you look quick. When you're chasing, you look slow. And at the moment, Central's just look a tad slow to me.
Just warming their way into it. They'll be fresh. Haven't played a game for a while. Jenner over the top of the footy. Just got away too easily from Jared. Got to stick your tackle. And Goldsworthy missed James Gowans, and then Jenner got it back to Gowans. Looping ball, Hall went without it. He'd be disappointed with that. So too will O'Hara. Lewis got it to Goldsworthy. Goldsworthy looking for Remington. Put his body on the line. Templeton was coming at 1,000,000 miles an hour. It'll be a boundary throw-in.
Who can last the distance here because of the frenetic pace of the game? It's when we get down to the last quarter, it's going to show out who's got the superior fitness level.
Doggies, remember, 12th second semi-final win in a row, so they've had more rest. Day received from Lewis, did pretty well, and then Powell has been dominant, and now Lewis with a clean shot off his left foot, took every inch he needed and brilliantly kicked the goal.
They're the ones, they're the goals you've got to take when you get the chance to have a shot at them. You're probably looking at a very low percentage strike rate from out there, but they're the ones you've got to take in grand finals. So when you get your low percentage strike rates, you've got to make them a winner every time, and that's a beautiful shot on goal. Went to his favoured left side, so he's always had that going for him, but just nailed it nicely.
One thing you touched on with the Eagles, boys, every time they come to the bench, they're putting towels on, they're putting ice on, all that sort of stuff. Centrals haven't done that at all today.
Oh, well, I think the recovery needs to happen a bit more for the Eagles. Haven't had a rest in this final series, so they need to keep rotating. It's a 25-point margin in the grand final. Allman had a fresh airy. Staple, who's been important. That's a free kick to Warman. He wins a lot of those high tackles and free kicks. He's a good player, this bloke, when he's running on top of the ground. And running into space is the big man in Redden. Flanking him is Raymond. The big Jared Redden played a significant role so far in the match. He's held on to it for a fortnight. But Thompson's going to have to fly against Hayes and a couple of others. Flicks over the back. That is perfectly read by Thomas. We know he's outstanding. And his kick is exemplary to Schiller. Schiller had another man in Jenner running with him, decides to chip it inboard, but that's uncharacteristic of the Dogs, taken by Gafrida. Oh, brilliant work by Schiller to go back and smother. In goes Goldsworthy, played for the free kick, then fed it out nicely to Powell. Powell didn't like what he saw to Lewis, so decides to kick a real up and under. They jostle for position. Oh, and there's a lovely mark. Holding his ground is Hayes, and he has a bit of a crack at Remington, but he just held on, did Andrew Hayes, and he'll do that every day of the week. Well, crazy.
O'Hara, and then Chris Gowans, and like his brother, no problem, left foot. Give it up to Dunn. He's got a problem, he needs his left foot. So Dunn looks, decides to go back. Hayes just takes his time. Spur gives him a lead back inside defensive 50, but he's ignored that just for the moment. It's opened up some room for Templeton. Oh, and a bad drop by Templeton. Will he get out of it? Remington slams him. Templeton now is not made to pay for his error because Grokey was taken by O'Hara. And I reckon Jake Templeton will be breathing a big, big sigh of relief now. As back it goes to Hayes again. They're looking for a way through at the moment, the Doggies. They just haven't been able to get any momentum up. Hayes is really run into a problem there with Spur. He just ran Spur over towards the boundary line. Now it comes back to Hayes, and now the high kick that they really wanted. Down to Grieger, the Eagles, I mean. He punches it to the front, and then Lewis and Treby work pretty well, and Gafrida was content to take it over the line near the interchange area. And coming off the ground was Williams, and coming back on was James Gowans and Patrick Gafrida. Along with Ben Grieger, two of the dour defenders, two of the most dour defenders you'll find in the SANFL.
Allman just rolled in the tackle by Callanan. No free kick. Another ball up. 14.5 gone. Luke Powell, there's a man who needs a rest.
He wouldn't need a rest there. What I'm seeing at the moment is that pretty much like the game last week against Norwood, Eagles able to really choke them up, so they restrict the scoring flow.
Thought Sainsbury might have been held for a moment. No free kick. Ball's close to the line. Sikalella wants it there. And it'll be a boundary throw in. Ian.
11 possessions for Luke Powell, leads everybody on the ground so far. James Boyd top for Centrals with 9.
I reckon there'd be 11 contested too from Luke Powell. Big throw in by the boundary umpire. Chris Gowan's got it brilliantly to Sainsbury. The dummy was beautifully done. Away to Hable on his left. He kicks a long left foot goal. It's as simple as that.
They respond when the question's asked of them. They do respond, and it all started from a ruck contest, a boundary line ruck contest, where they just worked the ball out the back of the contest here. Chris Gowans gets it across to Sainsbury, who then gets it across to Hable. Hable on his left. That's as easy as you like for a left footer there. Just turn 3 or 4 steps and just beautifully puts it through.
It's even better for a left footer who isn't a left footer. He's naturally right, so he's done even better there.
He kicks it very well on his left foot.
He's learned from the Gowans boys. He looks a natural, doesn't he? So back in the middle, another crucial centre clearance. Parry. Well, somehow he got it to a man who's a left footer who tried to kick it around the corner. Somehow Allman got it down to half forward. Hayes met it pretty well. Kick was awful. Intercepted. That wasn't a mark. It's not 15. So Jarrett backs up. It comes off the knees of Callanan. And then to Hable. And then back to Callanan, who ran on. And then he just decides to barrel the ball inside forward 50 and hope for the best. It finds Havelberg briefly. And then Chris Gowans. And then he ducked into the tackle. And he's gone. He's not going to release it, surely. And the umpire says that's okay. Verdict.
Yeah, no, I'm happy with that. I think that's a ball up.
Parry wrestled away, got the ball to Allman, now off the ground. Oh, fresh air from Gowans, and Gafrida finally picked it up off the ground. And the umpire says he'll have it again. You don't see this too often.
That's the pressure of grand finals.
Third man up, McKenzie knocks it towards the boundary. Allman's been clearing the ball for the last 3 or 4 contests. Sainsbury outside 50. Beautiful kick for Callanan. Callanan drops what he should have taken. Now he's in trouble. He had some support though. And Hable was clever. His kick wasn't brilliant. Eagles get another chance. Sikalella went 360. Had to give it up. Schiller with the shot down towards goals, and Grieger comes across and thumps the pack, but Havelberg stays on his feet, does well. Back towards the corridor, dangerous kick. Finally the Eagles will get a clearance here through Lewis. The kick has to be good to Tumpus, who stood up brilliantly, the young man. He's still a teenager, but he knows what footy's all about, and gee, that's a good delivery.
Treby, well, they were defending grimly there, the Eagles, and they were fortunate that the Bulldogs couldn't hit their targets. And Barmby knocks it away from Staple. And uncharacteristically too, Callanan missing a mark or two.
Certainly is uncharacteristic. What I'm getting a bit nervous about now, Jimmy Tumpus has had so much of the ball, he'll have to come into consideration for that GWS trade. I'm getting a little bit nervous. I might lose him next year.
Yes. Well, when you come and perform on the big stage in finals in the SANFL and do so well as Tumpus, you tend to deserve it. And I know you're not saying he doesn't deserve it, but it is nervous times. Raymond got it from Day. So the Eagles just slowing it down a little bit. Been called to play on. He gets his kick away to Sikalella, who was outstanding in the 06 grand final. A lot of people thought he should have won the OT medal in front of Hayden Skipworth, but Skipworth was outstanding as well. The kick out wide to McKenzie.
He's watching McKenzie there. He wanted to isolate Thompson, who's pushing everyone away from him. Wanted to isolate him, and he got the kick that he wanted.
Surely that was 25 metres against Paul Thomas. Just holding McKenzie back from getting away, but that's professionalism. McKenzie inside 50, big pack, fly on the marks, taken by Grokey. He was about third in line there, Adam Grokey. And the way he's kicking today,
He's
he might have a
confident.
crack at it.
He's confident here, and he's going back with a... had nothing but, I'm going to have a shot on goal. So see the replay come through. 3 deep in the packed situation. Great catch.
Don't think Luke Jarrett will be happy if he misses this. He was one-on-one with Hable. He had a big advantage in the goal square. He's wanting him to get it in.
Well, he'll be buying him a drink at the bar tonight, I reckon, if he kicks it. Here's Adam Grokey, 2 straight. Bit of a wobble on that one. Up they fly, and it's punched through. And ironically, Luke Jarrett was the man ready to pounce.
So another opportunity for Centrals through the maze. Great kick from Barmby. So what's the next move? Eagles fold back pretty well. McKenzie's loose for the Eagles in defence at the moment, but he's just waiting for an interchange for the Bulldogs to take place, and the ball on the other side of the ground falls for Gowans, who just thumps it forward. Oh, they're away. How did that happen? Well done by Hable, inside 50. Pretty good kick. Grieger did well, got the arm in front, but Jenner with the road for his second of the afternoon. Just astray.
Going off the ball between Papa Sutherland and Grieger. I was looking at and concentrating on that. Jenner probably should have done a little bit better there. He had plenty of time with the ball in hand. Should have done better to convert that for a goal.
A bit more urgency on the face of Roy Laird than we normally see. McKenzie's kick. He's got about a 3-on-1 here. He's looking for Jarrod, and Jarrod might win a free kick in the middle of all that. And he has. And Luke Jarrod. It's got Parry drifting forward, and Chris Gowans did all he could, but couldn't get to the big man. He needs to get it on quickly. He does. Here's an opportunity. Grokey one-on-one, falling back, couldn't take the mark against Templeton, who held his ground pretty well. And I thought Templeton did a pretty good job there. And Grokey was in within a millimetre of taking that mark.
Didn't quite take the mark. I was probably going to be critical on him for going to ground, but he butted up in terms of holding the ball in the area to get a stoppage here.
Here's an opportunity for Staple. Got it out with a handball, looking for Ormond. Ormond with a little dinky kick. Just the 15 to Toumpas. Toumpas, we know, is exemplary with his kicking. Just on the half volley to Jarrod. Couldn't take the mark. Treby caught. Spinning out was Hall. Here's Toumpas. We know he can kick a footy. But this time, he's well away to the right. And the breeze is catching that one and drifting it out of bounds on the foot.
I like the fact he actually kicked a drop punt there. A lot of people in that situation will try to lay the ball across their boot and screw it back in. He wanted to go with a drop punt, just didn't hit it square.
Templeton brings it in long, looking for Sutherland, who couldn't take it, thought he was thrown to ground. Umpire called play on. Out the back it spills. Goldsworthy across to Parry. He sets it up again. At the back was Boyd. There was 2-on-1 in the marking contest. Finally it comes to Boyd at the back, and he's just about pulled down by Allman. He gets away. Thomas. Uncharacteristic fumbles a couple of times from these players this afternoon. Thomas and then Hayes with the 1-2 to Thomas. And off the ball, a good shepherd by Williams. And so down to half forward they go. Goodrum, haven't seen much of him this afternoon. Gafrida picked it up, was immediately grabbed. Umpire's going to pinch him for holding the ball.
Tough call.
Callanan pinches it meanwhile, as we're watching just the tackle that he put on. That's why the ball's inside 50. The free kick, and then Callanan put it forward. Lewis and Redden. He has to reach up. Now it's on the ground. He's got a problem. Slides in, takes it away from Callanan. Not easy to do. In fact, he beat James Gowans and Ian Callanan in that situation. Well done to Jarrod Redden. They're down to half forward again. Loose hand pass from Barmby. He just simply didn't hit the ball with his fist. Ball to be thrown in.
Just get the feel. Just get the feeling Jarrod Redden might just come of age today. He's just been lurking on Port Power's list. This might be the day that he stamps his authority on the competition.
Yes, his intent has been right there. James Boyd, just bounced off Remington in the end. Then the handball comes away to Dunn, who wants that left boot. He kicks inside 50. O'Sullivan's over the back, but brilliantly done by Raymond. That is courageous. He's been doing that all final series. The quick kick comes out to Tumpus from Day. Phil Raymond, his courage has been outstanding. Short kick, McKenzie. Dropped what he should have taken under pressure from Callanan. In they go. Tumpus with the tackle. And umpire Rouston calls for it. A ball up, and we've gone 24.5, second term.
24.5. Hasn't this game gone quickly? It's been intense. I've quite enjoyed watching this game.
Redden and Sutherland. I thought Redden got the better of that. Down to Lewis. Bouncing ball. Brilliantly bounced for Staple. Staple who hooks it back. Good kick. Hall takes the mark. Highly skilled player Chris Hall. He would know his distance. He thought about Tumpus. He thought about chipping it wide to Tumpus, who was running forward. But Chris Hall needs to go back and nail this. This will be a very important goal.
What he's been very good at doing, Chris Hall, is working up the ground into the wing areas. But once he works up there, he burns back at 100 miles an hour.
The kick has got the distance okay. He just pushed it away to the right, so it's a 20-point margin in the grand final.
We've gone 25 minutes in this opening half, the second term of this opening half. Centrals, they are getting to the stage. Maybe they've got to hit back after half time because the Eagles have control of this match. And the kick in wide, and Staple, two grabs from 2 feet. He did the 2 feet takeoff.
Basketball jump.
And he got the rebound pretty well. Off to Lewis. Arms up everywhere inside 50 from the Eagles. Jarrett at the back. And he's decided instead to spear a beauty. But to Goldsworthy, who's a left footer. And the left forward pocket, the wrong side for a left footer. And I reckon O'Hara, who was talking to the umpire there, was saying, look, he's not around on his mark, and I reckon he had a case. So back they go to Powell. Redden was briefly available further across goal, but Powell's taken the option. He reckons he can go the distance. He's looking out the back to Day, but tell you what, Tiller's in the middle. That might be an option. Powell decides to set it up. Okay, everybody, have a leap. Here they go. Sutherland almost knocked it straight to the hands of Goldsworthy. It's through for a rush behind.
One thing I've been impressed with Eagles so far is their foot disposal has been very good. Being able to find the player with pinpoint accuracy.
Spot on sticks. They have done it so well. Been able to pinpoint players under pressure as well. So Thomas from half back, the little chipping ball to Spur. He hasn't had the best of grand finals so far. Over the top to Hable with limited opportunity, has had a reasonable match as the siren goes for half time in the 2011 SANFL Grand Final, and it's a 21-point lead to the Eagles. The Eagles 7-6-48, Central District 4-3-27 sticks, and this game is really in the balance.
It's been a cracker of a game so far. On the back of Eagles' desperation, led by Luke Powell. He's been very good in terms of getting in and underneath the contest. We've got the likes of Jimmy Tumpus off a wing and Chris Hall that's been able to run and carry the ball. Centrals really haven't got hold of the ball. They've had a couple of blokes that can work really hard. When they do get hold of the ball, they do use it quite nicely. But the game is really balanced up nicely at the moment, and this is where you want Centrals. If you're going to beat them, this is where you want them. You have to be up at half-time, so it actually forces them to go into the half-time huddle with that, with the ability to talk about what are they going to do in the second half, how can they restructure, and what they're going to have to then do is go away from some of their structures they've probably had in place all week, and they're going to have to go away from that and learn something new very, very quickly.
Half-time in the big dance in 2011. And it is the Eagles 7-6-48, Centrals 4-3-27.